Houw Hoek means pull back into the corners when you had to travel down with the wagon, the ox wagon down this pass. Hello and welcome back to Werner's View channel. I'm just crossing the Palmiet River here in Grabouw. If you've not seen how I ended up in Grabouw, please make sure to have a look at the previous video. But this series of trips are now continuing from Grabouw, and yeah, it might sound a bit strange to you. If you watched the previous video, you would know that I passed by Theewaterskloof Dam, and yes, my route for today is heading actually back to Theewaterskloof, but I'm going to make quite a significant detour. I'm first now heading in the direction of the N2 highway, and then I'm basically going to cross it straight away so that I can ride some more of the Elgin Valley. Particularly, I'm going to ride the Viljoenshoop Road and also the Highlands Road, which I think will prove to be very beautiful. Yeah, but thanks for joining me again. It is such a beautiful, beautiful day, and I would like to think perfect for motorcycle riding. But what is the end destination? So the end destination of my trip today is the Theewaterskloof Dam, but I'm specifically going to ride to the dam wall, or the overflow of the dam, to go and look whether the Theewaterskloof Dam is actually overflowing. I suspect it might be more than 100% full, but I'm not sure. We will see later today. I'm now catching up with the N2 here at Peregrine. Now, Peregrine is probably one of the most famous farm stalls in the country, and it is an award-winning farm stall, but I'm probably going to ride only 150 meters on the N2. I'm immediately turning off again. And this is the start of the Viljoenshoop Road. As far as I know, the place where, or the area of the Elgin Valley where wine is being produced. So, of course, Grabouw, very much the economic hub of the Elgin Valley. Now, the Elgin Valley is a vast valley that is dedicated to fruit production and the export of fruit. But yeah, I think the areas that we're going to do today, there's also some wine being produced. So there's of course a much shorter route to Bot River, and that is if you continue on the N2, you go down the Houw Hoek Pass, but that is National Highway. I'm actually going to ride around the Houw Hoek Mountains with this trip today by following these roads and looking more at the rural and back roads. I'm doing this trip, of course, with my Honda CRF 300 Rally. What else? That is my bike, and the one that I've done all previous series with. All I know about this bike is it will be able to ride any road I take. The only thing that might keep it back is the abilities of the rider, but not the abilities of the bike itself. I want to thank all of you for the comments and encouragement and support for the videos being posted on Werner's View. I of course enjoy it immensely to do the trips and to make the videos, but it is quite special if this is also enjoyed by others, and I appreciate every comment that is made, and I try to respond to all of them. So thank you very much for sending your messages. Okay, so we are going to turn off the Viljoenshoop Road. So we actually rode a relatively short part of it, but I think we're going to continue much further on the Highlands Road. So the turn is here. Yep, let's make the turn. I think at some point it becomes a dirt road. I'm speaking under correction, but I speak in hope and anticipation that there might be some dirt roads coming. Yeah, so there is the Houw Hoek Mountains, and Bot River is around the corner there, so we'll take a detour along these routes to get there. It is such a clear and beautiful day. One can see very, very far, and it is quite fortunate because many days in winter can be overcast and visibility can actually be very poor. I did not mention this in my previous videos of this series, but please remember and take note that I do paste the link of all the routes that I do as a traced Google Maps route in the video description of every video I post. So if you want to go and check on the map which routes I took or where I made some turns, please make sure to go and look at that link to the Google Maps route in the video description. I try to be as accurate as possible. Sometimes I take some unexpected turns, but yeah, I think I'm getting most of it right. Yeah, but this valley. So this is still part of the Elgin Valley descending here. It's quite a vast and spread out valley. Of course, this series I'm calling the Cape Valley series. Look at all the arum lilies. Not sure if you can see it on the camera, but they are everywhere. This is a beautiful lily that, yeah, in this time of the year, yeah, here you can see it close to the road as well, just pops up to decorate the landscape. This Highlands Road is well, all I can say already is it's recommended. It is a great road. It's just beautiful, beautiful. So I'm simply going to follow this route now as it leads me to connect up to the, I think it's the R45 between Bot River and Hermanus. That is the main, say, road connecting Bot River with Hermanus. But to get to that connection, it's a few twists and turns. Yeah, I lost my GPS a bit, so I think it is down this road. So let me see. This is now a dirt road. I'm going a bit blind, but yeah, hopefully it takes me where I'm thinking I'm going. Let's see. But yeah, isn't it nice to do some dirt roads? So as far as I know, this is the Highlands Valley Road. So we are truly now on the back roads for our detour around Houw Hoek Mountain to Bot River. What a revelation this road is. Yeah, it always amazes me how easily one can find a beautiful dirt road. Well, at least in these areas of the Western Cape where I'm riding, I have ridden most recently. Oh. So this part of the Elgin Valley is simply spectacular. Sure. Yeah, so the reason why I'm losing my GPS is there's something wrong with the charging of my phone. The battery runs flat even if I charge it, so I think it is the battery of the phone that is really just too old. So as long as I keep the screen up and I charge it, it simply does not want to charge up. So I'm just leaving the map off for the moment to see whether I can get some juice into the battery. Because at some point I'm going to need my GPS again. I'm going a little bit on faith now. But this is something that I will have to check out. Yeah, Beautiful little rapid coming down there. Yeah, some significant erosion, landslides probably happening here. Looks quite dangerous. And there is a whole house that is as if standing on a slope. Yeah, that looks serious. No, so there must have been a lot of water damage here. Not sure if you can see that house, the camera. The whole front part of the house is simply hanging over the ravine. That is serious, serious damage. There seems to be more damage further down. Now the whole house seems to be at an angle of about 20 degrees. So if I've got my direction right, we are now looking still at the Houw Hoek Mountains there in the front. And it seems like this dirt track is now going to turn into a tar road again. But what a beautiful, beautiful ride. Now this valley road actually gives you some elevation in most parts to just have sweeping views. Not only in the immediate, well, what you see in front of you in the meadows and the orchards and so on, but also on the backdrop of the mountains. Okay, so I did get lost a bit, so we are back on the N2, which is not quite the route that I planned, so let me try and figure out my route. Okay, now I've checked a bit, my phone is not charging, so this is a problem. I'm just going to link up here to the N2 because I already took a wrong turn to end up at the N2 much earlier than I thought I would. But I'm going to ride in the direction of Bot River, which I believe is the direction of Bot River. I cannot really check at the moment. But yeah, this is unfortunate, getting a bit lost on my route. But as long as I can get to Bot River, I should be okay to continue then again. If I think I am where I am, I will make a stop at Houw Hoek Farm Stall and just see whether I cannot get my phone charged up a bit. Well, I had this unplanned stop at Houw Hoek Farm Stall, but well, maybe not too unfortunate, because now I could buy myself a nice pie. It is lunchtime, and I met up with the friendly cashier there, Joe Marie, inside, and I just asked her to just charge up my phone a bit on the normal charger. Hopefully if I leave it there for about 10 or 15 minutes, it will charge up enough for me to just continue with my routing. I'm just using this opportunity to get a bit of a leg stretch here at Houw Hoek Farm Stall. It's a busy N2 highway passing by, but it is a beautiful, beautiful environment. So yeah, things don't always go as planned, but it will work out. This was now a lovely, even though unexpected stop at Houw Hoek. The pie was certainly very welcome, and Joe Marie there at the tills sorted me out. I got the phone charged to about 40% in 15 minutes, which I think is not too bad. I'm not quite sure where the problem is, whether it's the charging of the bike or whether it's the battery. I think it's definitely slow charging on the bike, but I think it's also the capacity of the battery is a problem. But this now presents more opportunity. I was not planning to ride this part of the N2, but it is certainly a very beautiful part. We are going to go down the Houw Hoek Pass, which will now take us from the Elgin Valley down to the Bot River Valley. So you can already see the Houw Hoek Pass sweeping up here, and then the crescent is just there. I think the top of the pass. It's not a very high top of the pass, I think something like 380 meters or so. But there you can see the Bot River Valley down there as well. So let's continue with the theme of this series of beautiful, beautiful Cape Valleys. Oh, I certainly feel quite refreshed at the moment. Yeah, so this Houw Hoek Pass, interestingly, was built shortly after the St. Lowry's Pass was built. Now, we didn't do the St. Lowry's Pass today, but that is of course about 25 kilometers in the other direction, where you need to cross the mountain there at Gordon's Bay. But it was built shortly after the completion of the St. Lowry's Pass in 1833, and it was built by the same person, Sir Lowry Cole. So Sir Lowry Cole built the St. Lowry's Pass, but he also built this one, and that is why the middle section of this pass in the pass was called Cole's Pass. But yeah, the name has changed, and today it's Houw Hoek. Now Houw Hoek, you translate it from the Dutch to English, it means hole back into the corners, and apparently that was the message that you got when you had to travel down with the wagon, the ox wagon, down this pass. But certainly it's a steep descent and sweeping views. So at the bottom of the pass we get to Bot River, and this town of Bot River is where we're going to pass through. Oh, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the canola fields are in full bloom. You can see the yellow patches as far as the eye can see, in between most likely wheat plantations. Yeah. So this is a double lane highway. Of course on the N2 the other direction is down there. So it's easy flow for traffic. But on the beautiful day like today, you can see for many kilometers. There is the town of Bot River. So we will make a turn into Bot River shortly and get off the busy N2. You can just see how the traffic is in front and coming from the back. I think I made a bit of a wrong turn. I actually need to take the Bot River turn. Now, it might have been just a bit further along this road. So we'll see how I can fix this. This is now, I'm not switching on my GPS at the moment simply because I want to conserve the battery of the phone. This is why I'm making a few mistakes. But yeah, we need to cross the N2 now again to get to Bot River, but should not be far to go. Yeah, so this is the bridge over the N2. Yeah, I suppose that's why I just had to take the next turn to actually turn off the Bot River. But we made it. A little bit more detours on this trip than than usual on a trip. So Bot River is a town, well, named after the Bot River that flows through the town, and it's got a very long history. And the name Bot comes from the Afrikaans word botter, which means butter, and it's because since early days there was some bartering with the local Khoi tribes here to, well, for butter, and that is why the name of the town became Botrivier, just derived from botter. The Khoi actually referred to this as kucha. Now kucha, I learned, is a Khoi word for lots of butter. So the theme of butter is very prominent here in Bot River. Oh, it's neat little houses here. And the Bot River now runs, well, more towards the back from where I came now, towards the Hermanus side, into quite a big lagoon. And this is now the central business district of Botrivier, or Bot River.